Adverbial clauses of time. Verb tense. Before and until. Hardly. When. Etc. Submit your application form while the teacher is in class. I will submit my form when she comes tomorrow. Do not wait till she returns tomorrow. Why? As soon as she receives your form, she will forward it for approval. I cannot submit it before I have all the details. Until you submit the form, you will not be able to go on leave. Whenever I need leaves, I get into such troubles. So long as the teacher is not annoyed with the delay, you can submit the form. Yes, I will try to keep her in good humor till I get my details. Sure, all the best. The dialogue between the two friends uses various adverbial clauses of time in different tenses. Let's take a look at few sentences. Submit your application form while the teacher is in the class. Main clause, present tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. I will submit my form when she comes tomorrow. Main clause, future tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. Do not wait till she returns tomorrow. Main clause, future tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. As soon as she receives your form, she will forward it for approval. Main clause, present tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. I cannot submit the form before I have all the details. Main clause, present tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. Until you submit the form, you will not be able to go on leave. Main clause, future tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. Whenever I need leaves, I get into such troubles. Main clause, present tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. So long as the teacher is not annoyed with the delay, you can submit the form. Main clause, present tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. Yes, I will try to keep her in good humor till I get my details. Main clause, future tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. Definition. An adverbial clause of time indicates when an action takes place. All adverbial clauses of time are subordinate clauses attached to a main clause. A subordinate adverbial clause begins with when, whenever, while, as, since, after, before, until, as long as, so long as soon as, once, no sooner, than, hardly, scarcely, barely, when, etc. The adverbial time clause may be placed before or after the main clause without any change in meaning. Verb tense in adverbial clauses of time. When the main clause is in future tense, the adverb clause of time should be in present tense. When the main clause is in present tense, the adverb clause of time should be in present tense. When the main clause is in past tense, the adverb clause of time should be in past tense. Have a look at these sentences using various adverbial clauses of time in different tenses. The child will play until he feels sleepy. Main clause, future tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. Complete your essay before the teacher returns. Main clause, present tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. I will buy you all the books whenever I go to the book market. Main clause, future tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. I will release the balloons as soon as I hear the bells chime. Main clause, future tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. Rest here a while till help arrives. Main clause, present tense. Subordinate clause, present tense. Here are a few more sentences using various adverbial clauses of time in different tenses. I will buy dresses as long as my money lasts. Make hay while the sun shines. I will stop working after my mother arrives. The children will play till the bell rings. Rajashri will stay here as long as she wishes to. Hardly had I dialed his number when he arrived into the hall.
Adverbs and conjunctions. Shreya sings beautifully. When did you hear her sing live? I attended her concert yesterday but could not meet her personally. She's a good singer and actor both. Although I'm very busy, I will go to watch her movie tomorrow. Because you are interested, I can give you a list of her best movies. The dialogues between two friends uses different types of adverbs and conjunctions. Shreya sings beautifully. Adverb of manner. When did you hear her sing live? Interrogative adverb. I attended her concert yesterday but could not meet her personally. Coordinating conjunction but. She's a good singer and actor both. Coordinating conjunction and. Although I'm busy, I will go to watch her movie tomorrow. Subordinating conjunction although. Because you are interested, I can give you a list of her best movies. Subordinating conjunction because. Definition. Adverbs and conjunctions both are parts of speech. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, other adverbs, clauses, or complete sentences. Adverbs are of three types. 1. Simple adverbs tell about manner, time, degree, place, or number. 2. Interrogative adverbs ask questions using adverbs how, when, why, or where. 3. Conjunctive adverbs connect words, phrases, clauses, or sentences to each other. Conjunctive adverbs are of four types. 1. Coordinating conjunctions and, but, for, nor, yet, so, or. They connect elements, words, verbs, ideas, clauses, etc. of equal importance in a sentence. Rule: no comma is required if only two words or phrases are connected using and or. The forest is thick and green. Rule: if a series of things are put together in a sentence, place a coordinating conjunction before the last thing and a comma before the coordinating conjunction. We will visit a temple, a monument, a beach, a national park, and a museum during our visit to Odisha. The king will hunt a lion, a tiger, or an elephant. Rule: when coordinating conjunctions are used to connect two independent clauses, place a comma after the first independent clause and before the conjunction. The structure is independent clause, coordinating conjunction, independent clause. I can go home, but it is raining. Shubham is ill, so he will not play. 2. Subordinating conjunctions. Because, although, after, before, unless, whether, until, whenever, wherever, etc. They join a dependent clause with an independent clause. Rule: a subordinating conjunction, when placed before a clause, makes it a subordinate or dependent clause. If the sentence begins with a subordinate clause, place a comma after the subordinate clause followed by the independent clause. The structure is dependent clause, independent clause. Unless you eat food, I will not go. Whenever I need, Mary helps me. 3. Correlative conjunctions: either, or, neither, nor, not only, but also, just as, so, etc. Rule: they always work in pairs. Either study well, or I will get you out of the school. He is neither intelligent nor polite. 4. Conjunctive adverbs: therefore, hence, consequently, however, similarly, then, thus, moreover, otherwise, for example, etc. Rule: conjunctive adverbs are used to connect two independent clauses. They show comparison, sequence, cause-effect, contrast, or other relationships between ideas. Always place a semicolon before and a comma after a conjunctive adverb. The structure is independent clause, semicolon, conjunctive adverb, comma, independent clause. I'm tired, therefore I will sleep now. The manager resigned, consequently, his staff went on strike. Note: both conjunctive adverbs and coordinating conjunctions connect independent clauses, but there is a difference. A conjunctive adverb can change position within the sentence, but a coordinating conjunction cannot. Let's have a look at these sentences using different types of conjunctions. You can store coffee beans in a plastic jar or a glass bottle. Coordinating conjunction or. He is tired, but he will not rest. Coordinating conjunction but. Smitha has not worked in any film, nor has she worked in an advertisement. Coordinating conjunction nor. Because he ate in excess, he has got a stomachache. Subordinating conjunction because. Either buy the groceries or go hungry. Correlative conjunction either or. William loves to visit India for its culture. Moreover, he has business interests here. Conjunctive adverb moreover. Ramit is short of funds, hence he stopped construction of his house. Conjunctive adverb hence.
Adverbs of place, indefinite frequency and time. We can place this vase here. Or we can place it somewhere in the living room. We can also consult some interior decorator nearby. I have known one since last 5 years. Mother says these professionals always charge steeply. The one I know seldom overcharges. She charges on hourly basis. The dialogue between two friends uses adverbs of place, indefinite frequency and time. We can place this vase here, adverb of place. Or we can place it somewhere in the living room, adverb of place. We can also consult some interior decorator nearby, adverb of place. I have known one since last 5 years, adverb of time. Mother says these professionals always charge steeply, adverb of indefinite frequency. The one I know seldom overcharges, adverb of indefinite frequency. She charges on hourly basis, adverb of time. Definition: adverbs of place. Adverbs of place convey where the action of a verb was or is carried out. They can indicate location, direction, or distance. They are usually placed after the main verb or the clause they modify. Adverbs of place indicating location relative to the subject. Here, there. The kids were making noise there, so I call them here. Adverbs of place also used as prepositions. On, behind, up, down, over, etc. Adverbs of place, when used as a preposition, are always followed by a noun. While dancing, she stepped on my foot. On is adverb of place since it is placed after the main verb stepped. I hastily placed the hot soup on the table. On is a preposition here since it is followed by a noun. Adverbs of place ending in where, somewhere, everywhere, anywhere, nowhere, etc. imply a location but do not convey specific direction or location. He had nowhere to go that night. Adverbs of place ending in words, northward, downward, southward, forward, etc. convey movement in a particular direction. The lift moved upward. Adverbs of place conveying distance, nearby, far away, miles apart, closer, overseas, etc. Our house and the hospital are miles apart. Some adverbs of place convey a location and movement both outdoors, indoors, downhill, abroad, sideways. The dog ran outdoors. Adverbs of indefinite frequency. Adverbs of indefinite frequency convey a sense of frequency, but they do not specify how often the action happens. Always, sometimes, usually, very often, rarely, seldom, often, once in a while, occasionally, never, typically, hardly ever, and repeatedly are some common adverbs of indefinite frequency. They mostly take mid-place in a sentence. The sentence structure is subject plus adverb of indefinite frequency plus main verb. Mohit always comes home late. When auxiliary verbs has, have, had are used with past participle, the sentence structure is subject plus auxiliary verb plus adverb of indefinite frequency plus main verb. Shiv has never spoken lies. When the verbs has, have, had are used as main verbs, the sentence structure is subject plus adverb of indefinite frequency plus main verb. I seldom have heavy breakfast. Adverbs of time. Adverbs of time tells us exactly when something happened, how often it happened, and for what duration. Point of time, when, now, then, tomorrow, yesterday, tonight, today, etc. How often, indefinite frequency, always, sometimes, usually, very often, occasionally, never, constantly, etc. How often, definite frequency, annually, monthly, daily, weekly, hourly, nightly, etc. Relative to time, since, later, early, just, formerly, etc. Duration, how long, all day, for a while, not long ago, since, etc. Have a look at these examples of adverbs of place, indefinite frequency and time. Bring the books here. Adverb of place. Moving northward on the globe will lead you to the Arctic pole. Adverb of place, direction. Anya lives far away in the city. Adverb of place, distance. The storm tilted the tree sideways. Adverb of place, location and movement. The girls sometimes make too much of noise. Adverb of indefinite frequency. Amit has once in a while cooked breakfast. Adverb of indefinite frequency. Satish visits his parents weekly. Adverb of time. Conditional sentence type 1. If you clean the house well, mother will be happy.
If you help me a little, I will clean the closets too.
Okay, if my work is over in half an hour, I will dust the bookshelves.
I will hang clothes on the line if the maid has done the laundry.
If she has been doing this work since a year, she will do it without anybody's help. In this dialogue between the sisters, type 1 conditional sentences have been used in different tenses. If you clean the house well, mother will be happy. If you help me a little, I will clean the closets too. Okay, if my work is over in half an hour, I will dust the bookshelves. I will hang clothes on the line if the maid has done the laundry. If she has been doing this work since a year, she will do it without anybody's help. Definition. Type 1 conditional sentences express real or possible conditions and their probable results. A conditional type 1 sentence mostly has 1. A conditional clause, if clause, which indicates a possible condition in simple present, and 2. A main clause which indicates the probable result of the condition in future simple. The sentence structure is if plus simple present tense, subject plus first form of verb, plus simple future tense, subject plus will plus first form of verb. If Ajay is hungry, I will cook some food. Always separate the conditional clause from the main clause with a comma in between. Type 1 conditional sentence may sometimes begin with the main clause instead of the if clause. I will write to you if you give me your address. The if or conditional clause can sometimes be in the present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. If Mahi is still reading the book, I will play with Sara is present continuous. If the tailor has stitched my clothes, I will take them home is present perfect. If Jia has been practicing since 1 year, she will make it to the event for sure is present perfect continuous. Let's have a look at these type 1 conditional sentences. If you attend your classes, I will take you to the water park. Type 1 conditional, simple present, simple future. If you need some money, I will lend it to you. Type 1 conditional, simple present, simple future. If you throw a party, I will organize the music. Type 1 conditional, simple present, simple future. I will have a nap if the guests leave early. If clause comes later. If Jane is still struggling with the puzzle, I will help her. Type 1 conditional, present continuous. If the manager has signed the letter, I will join the company. Type 1 conditional, present perfect. If you have been tending your plants so well, They will surely have a good bloom. Type 1 conditional, present perfect continuous. Connecting ideas between and within sentences.
After I finish my meals, I'll go to meet my friends.
While you finish eating, let me call up my brother.
You always fight with your brother. On the other hand, you don't stop making calls to him.
Despite all arguments, he cares a lot for me.
None of you harbors ill feelings. That is why you share a strong bond.
Furthermore, we are the best friends.
In my opinion, you should invite your brother to meet us someday.
Sure, I will give it a thought. The dialogue between the two friends uses different connecting words. After I finish my meals, I will go to meet my friends. Sequence of events within sentence. While you finish eating, let me call up my brother. Events happening at the same time within sentence. You always fight with your brother. On the other hand, you don't stop making calls to him. Connect contrasting ideas between sentences. Despite all arguments, he cares a lot for me. Connect contrasting ideas within sentence. None of you harbors ill feelings. That is why you share a strong bond. Cause and its consequence between sentences. Furthermore, we are the best of friends. Additional information. In my opinion, you should invite your brother to our hostel someday. Expressing opinion. Definition. Ideas between and within the sentences can be linked, connected using connecting words. Connecting words used to show a sequence of events. Between sentences, soon, after, then, subsequently, after that, before. Mother cooked food and then laid the table. Within a sentence. As soon as, before, after, since. As soon as the bell rang, the dog started barking. Connecting words used to express events happening at the same time. Between sentences. Meanwhile, at the same time, simultaneously. My boss was in a conference. Meanwhile, I completed my documents. Within a sentence. While, as, whenever. While Meera sang, the musician played music. Connecting words used to connect contrasting ideas. Between sentences. However, otherwise, still, though, nevertheless. On the other hand, Raj has money in excess to flaunt. On the other hand, his brother struggles even for 2 square meals. Within a sentence. Though, even though, although, in spite of, despite, while. Despite his intelligence, Dinesh failed to solve the puzzle. Connecting words used to express a cause and its consequence. Between sentences. Because of. That's why. As a result. Consequently. Therefore. Susan has won the match. That is why she is celebrating. Within a sentence. For consequence. Give rise to. Be responsible for. So. Lead to. Bring about. Result in. Excessive leniency can lead to mismanagement. For cause. Because of. On account of. Since. Due to. The schools are closed on account of a local festival. Connecting words used for additional information. Besides, in addition to, moreover, as well as, furthermore. Between sentences. The NGO was going through a rough patch. In addition to funds, it was also given help in kind. Within a sentence. The staff got 1,000 rupees more in addition to their current salary. Connecting words used to express opinions. In my view, personally, in my opinion, Riya is having lemonade. In my opinion, she should drink soup in this biting cold. Connecting words used to give examples. For instance, for example, namely, that is to say, in other words, scientists are trying to reach other planets. Mars, for example, is one of them. Connecting words used for conclusion. To sum up, lastly. In conclusion, finally. To conclude. The CEO is not very expressive, but in conclusion of his speech, he appreciated the staff's dedication to its work. Let's have a look at these sentences using connecting words. Before it rains, you must finish shopping. Sequence of events within sentence. Whenever there is a crisis, my brother stands by me. Events happening at the same time within sentence. Some international events are held annually. For instance, the World Book Fair, expressing example within sentence. Bharat has made it to the semi-finals. In my view, he should now get professional coaching to reach the final round. Expressing opinion between sentences. The students were demanding too much. The principal, however, was willing to allow small concession. Connecting contrasting ideas between sentences. Contrasts. Although and though. Even though. If. In spite of. And despite. Despite opposition from my family, I want to study beekeeping. Though it is interesting, it is risky to work with honeybees. I want to pursue the profession even if it meant a few bee stings here and there. I will not recommend such a profession, although I know bee stings only once in a lifetime. I remain undeterred even though it is a huge challenge. In spite of all your knowledge, you need to work carefully with the bees. Although they are small industrious insects, they inspire us to work hard. Despite my fears, I wish you all the success in your endeavor. Here we can see that the conversation between the two friends uses although, though, even if, even though, in spite of, despite. Definition. Although, though. Although and though can be used interchangeably as subordinating conjunctions. They connect a subordinating clause with the main clause to present a contrast of ideas. They can be placed in the beginning or middle of a sentence. Although, though, she knew me, she did not wish me. Do not use a comma when though, although is placed in the middle of the sentence. Rashmi reached the station in time, though, although the train was late. Even if, even though. Even if shows a contrast between an unreal, imaginary or hypothetical situation and its definite result. Even if the book is interesting, hypothetical, he will not read it, definite result. Even though shows a contrast between a real situation and its unexpected result. Even though I had no money, real situation, the shopkeeper let me take the books, unexpected result. If the sentence begins with even if, even though, place a comma after the even if, even though clause. Even though she cleared the exam, she did not get a job. In spite of, despite. In spite of and despite are prepositions that show a contrast. They must be followed by a noun phrase or a gerund, ing, noun form of a verb. They can be used interchangeably. She talked sweetly with the child despite his impudence. She talked sweetly with the child in spite of his impudence. These prepositions can be placed in the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. When used in the beginning of a sentence, place a comma after the in spite of or despite clause. In spite of, despite hard work, she failed. Let's have a look at these sentences using although, though, even if, even though, in spite of, despite. Although it is stormy, I will go out to buy my medicines. Even if I am offered a high-paying job abroad, I will not leave India. The boat could not sail even though the winds were favorable. Money was not given the prize money despite winning the reality show. I am not annoyed with her, though she disagreed with me. Even though he was extremely angry, he remained calm. In spite of rough weather, the fisherman sailed into the sea. She went out for a walk even though it was extremely hot outside.